It's a sure sign of spring. Birds on their annual migration north. But as they pass through big cities, they are running into a hazard created by humans. Here's Satinder Bindra of CBC Toronto on the sorry consequences of leaving the lights on.
As the rest of the city sleeps, Michael Monsieur gets ready for work. By about 3:30 in the morning, he's out the door. Monsieur's destination, the dazzling lights of the big city. His mission? To help thousands of migratory birds. Visitors from South America that are so mesmerized by this urban jungle, they smack head-on into glass towers. Armed with just some paper bags and keen, probing eyes, Monsieur begins his daily search.
You have to look in the little nooks and crannies. They tend to tuck themselves in corners.
Within minutes, Monsieur comes across his first casualty.
He's quite disoriented. You can tell by its feathers are fluffed out. When I picked it up, it didn't even struggle. It's almost like it's unaware that we're even here.
Every spring, some 5 billion birds make their annual commute to North America.
This is a common yellowthroat.
They come here to breed and find food. This bird, the white-throated sparrow, has flown all the way from South America.
Part of their navigational aids are using the moon and the stars. And the theory is that they're interpreting the lights of these structures as a constellation of stars. Being fooled to believe that they can navigate by this means, they're drawn into the city, and before they know it, they're colliding with the buildings.
Monsieur searches for signs of life. He soon comes across another white-throated sparrow. This time, its summer song is permanently silenced.
There will be mornings where...
White-throated sparrow, north side, Royal Bank.
Especially this structure here, see how there's a series of ledges? And you'll just see dozens of birds lying on these ledges. You know, they'll hit the window, they'll drop onto that given ledge. Sometimes it's literally, the way I describe it, hailing birds.
Within an hour, Monsieur's sack is almost full. This even before he enters what he calls Killer Alley.
Yeah. It's around the corner there, you'll see it tucked in the corner.
Sometimes these birds hit with such tremendous force that it will push the beak into the skull and the eyes will protrude from either side. And in some cases, the bird will still be alive in spite of that injury. And in that case, the bird has to be euthanized, put out of its misery, because it won't recuperate from such an injury. Up you go, up you go. Okay. See, this is what happens. You can end up chasing a bird all morning. Did you see that? 2 just hit. I'm gonna have to pick this guy up and get him on his feet. Oh dear. Yeah, this one's probably gonna end up dying in our hands here. You can tell its body's going rigid. It's totally oblivious to us being here. Its eyes are glazing over. It's just muscle spasm. See how its eyes are open and pupils are totally dilated, so unfortunately, it's not going to make it. It breaks my heart. No, that's it. It's dead. Damn it.
As the city begins to stir, Michael hastens his steps. Now he has a new concern: gulls.
The gulls understand that these birds getting trapped in the city do not understand the windows. Right. And they'll literally chase small flocks of these birds into the glass, knock them unconscious, go down and eat.
It's difficult, demanding work. Not every bird is easy to catch. But Michael persists and his hard work pays off.
Yeah, it's an ovenbird. This is definitely, it's not a selfless thing.
This is what
there is a tremendous amount of reward to be able to first have a bird in your hand that most people don't even think exists in this country, and to be able to set it free back into its natural habitat.
The time now is 6:30. Time for Michael to take count of all those he couldn't reach in time this morning. It's also time to wonder about those who might have saved lives by merely turning a switch.
If these people want to leave their lights on, that's fine, but find a way to shield the light is all we ask. But it makes sense in energy conservation to shut these lights off.
And you're right, how can...
Dan Maislich works for Royal Bank. What about an awareness program? What about appointing stewards on every floor to make sure that these lights are turned off? It doesn't take much, Dan.
We have asked our tenants in the past. We sent out memos. We have a tenant newsletter, in fact, encouraging people to do that, using gentle, subtle moral suasion. And in some cases it's worked, and as you've noticed yourself, in some cases it hasn't worked.
I'll have to make a couple of trips, I think.
Monsieur is frustrated by the brush-off he constantly gets from the corporate world. But it doesn't stop him from completing his favorite task of the day. Many of the birds he rescued this morning are ready to be released, ready to be given a new life.
That's the common yellowthroat. It's gonna fly. Ready? It's a black and white warbler. Now let's see if he... Ooh, look at that. It's a wonderful feeling to just set these birds free back into their natural habitat, out of that concrete jungle. Oh, there it goes. There you go.
Moments after being released, the birds appear comfortable and ready to resume their journey north to Ontario's forests.